Welcome back, everyone. A new interactive exhibit is providing a closer look at Alexander Hamilton and exploring his connections to the city of Philadelphia.
Hamilton Was Here is open at the Museum of the American Revolution, and that's where we find Eyewitness News reporter Pat Gallen to take us on a tour. Good morning, Patrick.
He looks like George Washington, more like Hamilton.
Good morning.
Patrick
No,
Hamilton.
I'm dressed like Alexander Hamilton was dressed 250 some years ago. I think my math's a little off. But that's why Dr. Phil Mead is here, because he's supposed to know these things. Good morning, Doctor. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. How do I look?
You look great. You're worthy to meet Washington.
Perfect. All right. We'll do that later. But for now, let's talk about what's happening here and why Alexander Hamilton is so important and the connection to Philadelphia.
Sure. Well, Hamilton fought in Philadelphia during the Revolutionary War. He fought a duel here in Philadelphia. He served as a member of Congress in Independence Hall. He was a delegate to the Constitutional Convention. It was here in Philadelphia that he spent most of his term as the first Secretary of the Treasury in the 1790s. So this is really where Hamilton had many of his most challenging circumstances and most important accomplishments.
And interestingly, he had a duel in Port Richmond. Who knew?
He did, yeah. The first duel we know he participated in, he was a second on December 23rd, 1778. Actually, we think it's close to the location of a current Target parking lot.
How about that? We got the Target right there. Okay, so talk about the interactivity then of what we've got here at the exhibit.
Sure. Well, this is a hands-on exhibit. It's like you see in science museums often, where you learn by doing things. So you're kind of invited to be Alexander Hamilton in a way. Like yourself, yeah. And so one of the things we are doing here is we like to make some of these ideas of the revolutionary moment visual and physical.
So that's the scale?
For example, this scale, it's set up right now with the powers of the states over here and the central government, Congress, under the Articles of Confederation. This is the precursor to the federal Constitution. And you're prompted to load these, and you learn about these different powers in the blocks. And watch what happens when we go to the federal Constitution. So the states did get some new rights and new powers, but the federal government gets quite a few new powers.
It's heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy. So then, as we develop more amendments later in the centuries, even heavier.
You know, things like abolish slavery and judicial review. Okay.
Right.
You've also got something else that's pretty cool and interactive. I like this. It's a cannon. What's going on with the cannon here?
So this cannon is very much like the ones, it's a reproduction, but it's a bronze 6-pounder. This is the type of cannon that Hamilton's artillery crew would have had during the Revolutionary War. He commanded 2 cannon, a company of artillery, in the 1776 campaigns, you know, the crossing of the Delaware, Trenton and Princeton. But in this case, in ours, because it's a reproduction, we have all the tools here, and you can actually learn how to load it. So we have the
hold that for me?
Yeah.
So we're just gonna.
So that's the sponge. Now you would douse that in water and then shove it down the barrel to make sure all sparks were extinguished before you fired it. Now you got to pull it right out and pull it quick. Boom.
Love it.
Yeah.
Dr. Mead, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
And everyone can come out here throughout the week?
Absolutely, yep. We are open for school groups until 1 o'clock, and then anyone could come in after 1 till 5, and then all weekend long we're open to the general public.
So come on down and learn all about Mr. Alexander Hamilton and dress like him as well. Jimmy Rahel.
Patrick, you always struck me as more of a cannonball person into a pool as opposed to, but that's okay, do your thing.
Well, you'd be right. You'd be right about that.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, Pat.